Hello, hello. Yes, it says we are live. Let me do my usual. Let me just forgive me for a moment. Sorry. Just need to double check that I am indeed live and that you can hear me. How are we today? Hope we are doing really, really well. Live. And do we have sound? We do. Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today we are talking about living your best life. Are you ready to get out of your own way, to clear out those fears, those doubts, those blocks, to dive right in and to go all in on your vision for your life and creating your life by design? I hope so. So, what we do during these live tap and talks is we do this. We tap. So if you don't want to tap on your face and tap on all the points the entire 30 minutes that we are going to be together, then what you can do is do this. You can tap on the ends of your cuticles because there are some acupressure points there that are actually quite effective. I don't believe that they are as effective as doing the actual pressure points on your face and your body. But, if it's not convenient or your arms get tired or you're just in a public place and you don't want to look weird, then you are more than entitled to be able to tap that way. I just recommend that you tap along with me the entire time we are together, because even if you're not doing targeted tapping, the actual act of tapping is still releasing stuff, even though you don't know exactly what you're releasing. It's working on those subconscious limiting beliefs, those fears, those doubts in the background. It is a powerful tool. I encourage you to use it as often as possible. So today we are discussing, and I'm going to give you some hints, some tips, some strategies, some formulas, some frameworks. We're going to do tapping on living your best life, on living your life by intention. So Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote the book, The Power of Intention, and intention is the foundation of your ability to create whatever it is that you want to create in your life. Health, relationships, money, career, just any kind of magic that you want to create in your life, because magic and miracles are unfolding all the time, all the time. Your entire life is a sequence of magic and miracles. And there are some that we normalize, and there are others that seem like they're way off in the distance, that they're impossible. Nothing is impossible. Everything and anything is possible. It is your dominant intention that lays the foundation and lays the path and leads the way. So set your intention for this 30 minutes right now. If you could achieve, release, recognize, realize something in the next 30 minutes that could completely change your trajectory, what would that look like? And what would your life look like as a consequence? What is it that you want to create? What kind of life do you want to live? What are you no longer willing to tolerate in your life? This is a really important question. What are you no longer willing to tolerate? Because we live in prisons that are of our own creation. Due to our limitations, our fears, our doubts, our conditioning, we are literally brainwashed by the system into believing that we don't have the power to change our lives, to create the life that we truly desire. We were born knowing that we are the creators of our lives. We were born knowing that. We were just conditioned out of that knowing, and then we were conditioned into a state of perceived powerlessness. It's only perceived powerlessness. You are not powerless. You have never been powerless. Yes, things happen in life. Shit happens. Shit happens. It's what you do with that. It's how you respond to that that shapes your future. Nothing can define you. Nothing can determine your results and your future except you. If you're no longer willing to tolerate something, then set a dominant intention. And the reason I say dominant intention is because you can set a conscious intention. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm going to change this. This is going to be my new future. But if your subconscious is kind of freaking out, going, yeah, no, that's not safe because something happened when you were 3 years old and you decided that if you did that, then this was a potential consequence. And we found out that that was really painful. So we're not going there anymore. It's a labyrinth, I tell you, up here, it's a labyrinth. This is why this work is so incredibly powerful. So, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and these are designed to help you to uncover what's really holding you back, what's really stopping you from living your life by design, from living an intentional life, from living the life of your dreams, and living your best life. So, the first question is, and these are pretty important questions. Who were you born to be? Who were you born to be? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Not what you want to be, like not the construct in your mind. Who were you born to be? And you can play around with this later on. What were you born to do? Who were you born to serve? Who were you born to be? What were you born to do? Who were you born to serve? Now, you can spend a significant amount of time sitting with these questions and don't torture yourself over them. Just sit with them. Just have a discussion with the subconscious. Now, if you were to live your life by intention, with passion, with purpose, if you were living your purpose and you woke up every day feeling excited to dive into what you're about to do that day, because it comes from a place of passion, because it's utilizing your gifts, your talents, your core genius, your unconscious competence, your superpowers, because it comes from a place of like a calling. If you were to live like life like that, do you think that you would feel a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction? Do you think that motivation would no longer be necessary because you were on your path, because you were on purpose, because you were living out a mission that you were born with, because you were doing things that made a difference in things that are important to you? So, what's important to you? What is important to you? And these could be things that are important to you for your own life, important to you for your family, important to you for the community. What's important to you? There are no limits here. When you answer these questions, come from the perspective of limitlessness. Anything is possible. Because being a billionaire tomorrow might be a bit of a stretch. Anything's possible, but depending on where you're at right now, that could be a little bit of a hard task. So give yourself an adequate amount of time to achieve whatever your vision, your goal is. But know and trust that it is possible. The thing is, most people underestimate what they can achieve in the long term, but they overestimate what they can achieve in the short term. And this sets them up for disappointment and ultimate failure. They just give up because they feel the disappointment so intensely that it's like it's just too painful. It's all too hard. I'm not going to do this anymore. So get very, very, very clear and specific about what it is that you want to create, and then allow the magic to unfold. What identity have you bought into that has been keeping you stuck? What identity do you need to adopt to live your best life ever? Because you realize that it is your identity that causes your behavior, and it's your behavior that causes your results. It is cause and effect. So you go right back to your identity and the limiting beliefs that surround your identity, that prop your identity up. You collapse those. Your behavior changes because your identity changes, and your results change because your behavior changes because your identity changed. You think of somebody who is highly, highly successful, a multi-billionaire like Elon Musk. How do you think he identifies? Now, how did he identify when he started PayPal? He didn't identify as the owner of multiple multi-billion-dollar businesses. Did he? Obviously not, because he wasn't there yet. He probably did not even conceive at that point that he would be somebody who spanned multiple industries with multiple very successful billion-dollar companies, multiple billion-dollar companies, and that he would be impacting multiple industries in such a profound way. I highly doubt that he had that vision in his brain at that point 30-something years ago when he started PayPal. Gosh, must be about 36 years ago now. I think he started that in the early 1990s. So we evolve, we expand, and as we succeed and we prove that we were capable of that thing that we wanted to achieve, it's like, I wonder what else is possible, and I wonder what else is possible, and I wonder what else is possible. And we grow and evolve and become the person who is capable of achieving anything we put our mind to, because we've got all these proof points along the way. Now, the failures aren't proof that you can't do it. The failures are just feedback of what doesn't work. The failures are just evidence that you tried something and it didn't work. So you assess why it didn't work, you adjust your approach, and you take further action. That's it. That is it. So who do you need to become to achieve your great big grand vision? What identity do you need to adopt? What traits and characteristics do you need to develop in yourself that you see in others who have already achieved something similar or something you admire in the field that you want to achieve in? Could be business, could be sports, could be a certain career path, it could be health. And every single person who achieves anything significant is doing something that offers value of some description to someone or a group of people somewhere. So it's time to own your brilliance. It's time to shed the shackles of powerlessness and hopelessness, that you're at the mercy of external forces, because you're not. Yeah, as I said, shit happens out there all the time. But that's not something that's there to stop you. It's there to make you reach, to encourage you to grow, because your soul yearns for growth, for expansion. Your soul yearns to discover what you're truly capable of. That's why we have and create challenges. We create our own challenges. Now, when you are confronted by a challenge, by a problem, do you look at the problem and see it as a closed, locked door and turn around and walk away? Or do you see it as a hurdle that you need to be able to overcome? You are bigger than any challenge you will ever face, and there is no problem that you cannot solve. I am not saying necessarily that you have everything you need right now to be able to solve every single problem that comes your way. That's not the point. The point is to develop your skills, to develop yourself. That's why it's called personal development. To expand your knowledge, to grow into the person who is capable of achieving it. Think of gold medal athletes at the Olympics. Do they decide one day, I'm going to be a gold medal athlete, enter themselves into the Olympics, and next month they win a gold medal? Doesn't quite work that way. They compete and they grow and they lose and they win, and then they lose some more, and then they win some more, and they get better and they work harder and they train better and they learn what works and they learn what doesn't work, and they listen to their coach. And they get in the gym and they develop the muscles and the strength and the stamina and the mental force that they need. Because a lot of it's mindset. A lot of it's mindset. And a lot of this entire life is mindset. So let's do a little bit of tapping. So I've asked you some pretty pointed questions so far. Hopefully you've made some discoveries. So, hello, beautiful Janine. No longer willing to tolerate dis-ease in the body. I love it. Okay, so let's just start by tapping on the inside of the eye and just repeat after me. I'm ready to break free from the limitations I have believed in. I'm ready to release the limitations that I've allowed to keep me stuck. I'm ready to leave behind the old identity that has bought into these limitations. I know these limitations are a lie. I know there are no limitations. I choose to release all emotional attachment to these limitations that I have believed for too long. I choose to break free from these self-imposed limitations. I choose to let go of these limiting beliefs and become the best and most powerful version of me, so I can live my best life ever. I destroy, uncreate, and delete the old version of me. I destroy, uncreate, and delete these old limitations. I destroy, uncreate, and delete these limiting beliefs. I destroy, uncreate, and delete the lie that I am limited. I destroy, uncreate, and delete the lie that I am at the mercy of my external conditions. I destroy, uncreate, and delete the false belief in limitation. I choose to know anything is possible. I choose to grow into the person who is capable of achieving anything. I choose to develop my belief in myself. I choose to make decisions that support me to live my best life ever. I choose to make choices that help me to achieve my best life ever. I refuse to settle any longer. I refuse to accept lack, scarcity, and mediocrity any longer. I refuse to tolerate these intolerable conditions in my life. I know there are solutions to every problem. And I just have to find the solution to my problems. So I'm going to be voracious. I choose to be undeniable. I choose to be insatiable in my quest to find the solutions to my problems. I choose to know I've got this. I choose to believe in me. I choose to know anything is possible. And I am ready to go all in, all the way. Because I'm not willing to tolerate this another day. I accept and know that I am a powerful co-creative force. That I'm co-creating my life moment by moment. And as I partner with the universe, I am now choosing to create a new experience. And as I overcome my fears, my doubts, and my limitations that aren't real, they're all false constructs that I've bought into. As I develop into the new version of me, I feel myself expanding right now. I feel my life expanding right now. I choose to live from a place of limitlessness. I choose to live knowing anything is possible for me. I choose to believe in me. Okay, keep tapping. How does that feel? Now, this is not a one and done. This is a process. This is about making progress every moment. And yes, you can change your life by making a simple decision, a new decision, and then following through on that decision. The fortune is in the follow through, my friend. So you've got to make the decision, but then you've got to continue to make that decision, and you've got to back up that decision with action, with deliberate, intentional action. You've got to show the universe that you mean business, that you're not just paying it lip service anymore. Because this life is not a dress rehearsal. This is the real deal. Every day that goes by is another day gone that you missed an opportunity to grow into your new version of you if you're not living life deliberately, intentionally, by design. If you're not determined to expand and grow and become the version of you who is capable of living the life that is available to you. You've got to remember that every life, every version of life that exists is already unfolding. It's in the ether. All things, all possibilities, all potential realities are unfolding right now. It is the one that your attention, your deliberate attention and intention collapses into your experience is what you end up experiencing. Think about that. So it is your focus, it is your intention, it is your attention that causes potential realities to come into focus for you to experience. So the billionaire version of you is out there. Now, there's multiple billionaire versions of you. There's billionaire versions of you that are miserable and stressed and sick and lonely. There's billionaire versions of you that are happy and living your best life. There's homeless versions of you. There's blissfully happy in a relationship and having a family version of you. And there's miserable, lonely, all alone version of you. All these potential realities already exist. This is why when they talk about your vision board and using visual cues like mind movies and visualization to create your reality, it's because this is how you collapse the current possibilities and potentialities that exist in the cosmos, in the ether, in the energetic soup that we live in the field, that causes that to become your experience. And remember that your creation, whatever it is you're creating, is not responding to your words. It's not responding primarily to just your actions. It's responding to what's in your field. And this is where they talk about everything being energy, frequency, and vibration. What's in your field? What is the message that your field is sending out to the universe? Because when you can create that message deliberately, intentionally, and that be the dominant message that goes out from your field, from your energetic imprint into the field that is the creator of all things, that's when life shifts and changes for you. It's called mastery. And it is done by your intention, your attention, your focus, your deliberate focus. So refuse to accept mediocrity, refuse to accept limitations, refuse to tolerate the things that are no longer tolerable to you. Enough already. If you need a solution to something, the solution is out there. If you haven't found it yet, then you just need to keep looking and trying different things and working out what that solution is. Because you will be amazed when you focus like a laser beam and refuse to accept anything other than absolute victory. You'll be amazed how quickly that will show up. It's like you cut through the crap and you go, I'm not putting up with this shit any longer. And that is a powerful force. So let me just check. Okay. All right. I do want to do this tapping with you before we wrap it up today. It is 30 minutes, but I want to do this tapping with you because you don't get what you deserve. You get what you expect. And when you expect everything to work out for you, you will show up differently. When you recognize, acknowledge, and really adopt the belief that life is happening through you, not to you, through you, through your intention. And if you honestly believe that everything works out and you expect things to work out, you will show up differently. You will act differently. You will vibrate differently. Your field will be different. The imprint that you leave in the field will be totally different. Think about it. You have two people. Just imagine, this is impossible, but just imagine that there are two exactly the same people, the same knowledge, the same experiences, the same skill sets, exactly the same everything. One of those people expects life to work out for them, and the other one expects that life's always going to be a shit show. The person who expects life is going to work out for them, how do they behave? How do they show up? How do they think? How do they act? What is their identity? How do they walk into a room? How do they interact with other people? How do they interact with life? Now you've got the person who just expects life's going to be a shit show. Shit just always happens to me. Nothing works out for me. How do they show up? How do they act? How do they behave? How do they interact with life? How do they interact with other people? How do they show up in a room? Exactly the same person. Two completely different sets of behavior, two completely different vibrations, two completely sets of messages sending out to the universe. How do you expect person one, who expects life to work out for them, how do you think their life's going to work out? What about person number two? Now, I know that you're not person number two, but you're human. And like all of us, this life, there's no shame here. This life, it tests us. This is one of I have heard at least, don't know for sure. Oh, I do know, but I don't remember, if that makes sense. That there's a lot of people out there who say that coming to Earth is one of the hardest experiences as spirit that we could ever choose. And we came anyway. And you're doing it. And you're living it. And you're here. And you rejoiced when they chose you, because there are gazillions of beings who want to come and have the Earth experience. And you won that lottery, believe it or not. It's a privilege to be here, believe it or not. Embrace it. Know that you are the ultimate creator. So let's get on with this tapping. I expect everything let's start again. I expect everything will work out for me. No matter how bad things get, I expect it's all going to work out. I believe life is happening through me. I know that I get what I expect. And I expect everything is going to work out for me spectacularly. Even though I have these challenges right now, I believe in the goodness of my future. I believe everything's going to work out for me. I expect everything will work out for me. I anticipate overcoming my challenges. I anticipate creating the life of my dreams. I anticipate living my life by design. I expect to live my best life ever. I expect everything to work out for me. I believe I can solve my problems and challenges. I expect everything to work out for me. I expect magic and miracles to unfold. I expect God to support me in my quest. I anticipate everything working out. I anticipate and expect living my best life ever. I anticipate and expect that everything's going to work out just fine. I expect the best things to happen for me in the future. I expect the best things to happen to me today. I expect magic and miracles. I expect my goals and dreams will come true. I expect to be fully supported in my quest for everything that I desire. Because I know that life is happening through me. So I choose to put my focus and my intention and my attention on what it is that I am choosing to create. Because I know there are no limits. And I know everything is possible. Okay, I'm going to stop tapping. Deep breath. Let it out. Go forth. Be amazing. Do amazing things. If you have enjoyed this and you've got benefit out of it, do me a favor, like and subscribe, comment below. Now, I have the Wealth Breakthrough Experience that is coming up. It is totally free. It is a coaching experience where I'm going to be coaching people one-on-one on the call. The link is in the description if you want to register for that for free. I hope to see you there. That is coming up on Friday in Australia and Thursday in the United States, Canada, and the UK. I love you loads. You are so amazing. You are so capable of achieving so much that you can't even possibly imagine. Stop allowing these perceived limitations to hold you back and go all in on whatever it is that your heart desires and live your best life ever. I'll see you again soon. Ciao.